Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Monday Motivation. I have a special guest with me tonight. We have Cali Reseller Luis with us, and he's going to share some of his selling auction ideas and other things that he's doing and so forth. Just kind of promote ideas and things that are working and not working. So if you're live in chat, please just come on in, say hello, let us know that you're here. I know we got a few people that are in the chat. So come on in, let us know that you're here.
Yeah, come on. We don't bite. Just say hello.
Not hard, at least.
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me tonight.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
I was so excited when you said yes, you would come on because you're just one of those people that I just really um, look up to. You're always just so humble and so welcoming to everybody in the community. You've grown so much without letting it get to your head as well as some
Yeah.
will, and so that's the other thing I just love about you. So
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've always been appreciative of everyone that supported my journey since the beginning. Obviously, you've been there, and of course, Tiffany as well. You guys, when I met both of you guys, and I was on with Tiffany on one of her auctions. I was barely getting started, and now fast forward a year and a half, 2 years later, here we are.
right, it's
So
just
yeah, I mean, one thing, like I said, I've always told myself I'm not doing this for the popularity. I'm not doing this to be, oh yeah, I'm one of these top guys. No, I'm gonna treat everyone the same, whether you're barely starting or you're the reseller with 100K subscribers. I'm gonna treat everyone the same across the board.
yeah, and I think that's what I love about you is because I function in that same way, and even I have
Mhm.
told my husband, like, if I ever make it big in YouTube or anything, I was like,
Mhm.
please always keep me humble and remind
Yeah,
me to always remember the little people, when I first got started and everything. So,
yeah,
um, so I know we got 5 people in chat. Again, come on in and say hello. If you are brand new to Scooter Renee, I'm Scooter Renee. My name is Pamela, but I have tended to have lost that name for the past 2 years. I've been on here, so everybody just knows me as Scooter. Um, I've been reselling since 2017ish, so about 5 years now. It'll be 5 years in July. Started with Poshmark, absolutely fell in love with Poshmark, and got into some Macari and some other selling platforms. And then I met Tiffany almost 2 years ago. We got into doing auctions together, and that has become my passion. And then just recently, I just started a flea market booth. So that's been my
awesome.
new thing that I've started. So um, again, this show is to bring like-minded people or like-minded resellers to come together to discuss ideas and different selling platforms, what works, what doesn't work, things like that. This is even for people who are thinking about reselling but just haven't taken that step yet, and they want to know more. And this is also for those of you that don't care about reselling but you want to know what goes on behind the scenes and like to talk through chat and everything. So that is what this show is about. Is no BS here. It's just positive as much as we can. Granted, we will talk about the ugly at times, but that's part of reselling. So as you guys know, I try to keep these shows to about an hour, no more than an hour and a half, depending on how chat is flowing and if the chat is really into the convo and everything. So we got a couple of people that just popped in.
Awesome.
We got Angie Resells. Hey, girl.
Hi, Angie. How you doing?
And we got Tiffany here. We were just
There
talking
she
about you,
is.
Tiffany.
Hello, Tiffany. Her ears must have been ringing.
Right? Must have been burning.
Yeah.
So most of you guys probably recognize this guy to the left of me. But for those of you who don't, this is Cali Reseller Luis. So welcome, Cali. Don't know if you know or not, but I always want to call you Luis for some reason. And
It's
I love how
okay.
you grew
It's funny because my mom named me Luis, and she even calls me Louis. And I always tell her, then why didn't you just name me Louis? And she goes like, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I should have.
But it is Luis, right?
Yeah, it's Luis. Yeah, but everybody calls me Louis, and so I'm used to it. I'm used to Louis or Louis, so I'm just used to it.
We got Ashley here. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. How you doing?
And so Cali Reseller is a content creator as well as does auctions on his YouTube channel. He make sure you are following him over there. So Cali, at some point, whenever you want to drop your link, go right ahead.
Okay.
He brings a lot of different stuff and has a lot of great guests on there as well. He also sells on other platforms and is involved in some other things as well that I didn't know about that I think he might still be involved in. So everyone, please welcome Cali to Monday Motivation.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for having me, Scooter. I appreciate it. But yeah, just to touch a little bit what Scooter was talking about, I do sell on online platforms like eBay, Mercari, OfferUp. And one thing that I've been, I'm sure a couple of you probably saw that I did a what sold video on TikTok. So that's one thing that a lot of people have asked me. How did you sell on TikTok?
So
Tell
you're
us
like
how.
reselling on TikTok?
Yeah, I've actually done a few sales on TikTok already. So
Oh wow.
yeah, and a lot of people are asking me, well, how is that possible if it's more like entertainment and stuff? I'm all like, you got to utilize what you have on the social media and market yourself, market your product. When it comes down to us resellers to sell stuff, we market our stuff. That's
Right.
always been, rule of thumb, like they say. I do these videos and clips when I go to the thrift stores and I show stuff that I find and I get. So people always ask me, hey, do you still have that available? Yeah, I still have it. Oh, I want it. How much? Make me an offer on it. Okay, good. You want it? So he sent them my PayPal stuff. They paid through PayPal. I ship it out to them. And there you go. It's a sale. That's one less thing I got to worry about listing. And sometimes when I post those videos, I'll sell the item that within that same day. So
That is awesome. I know I just recently got into reselling on Instagram and learning how
yeah,
to,
Instagram's another great
yeah,
place to
how
sell as well.
learn how to do my link for PayPal and all that stuff with different items I'm selling. So
Yep.
been kind of messing with that. So before we get into talking to Callie and finding out more about Callie, as you know, we always got to have positive spot thoughts. So, again, the whole reason for this Monday motivation is to share ideas from not only myself but also different people like Callie that are involved in reselling and so forth, and also introduce different platforms and that are out there and to help you guys figure out ways of how to resell different platforms that you can resell to make some other income off of as well. And those are even stuck. So, and even to hang out with those of you that I always love seeing, regardless if you're a reseller or not. But networking is not about just connecting with people, it's about connecting people with ideas, and people with opportunities. One of my favorite quotes by Zig Ziglar is, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough of other people get what they want.
Exactly.
And it's what I try to live by, and I see that so much in Cali as well. I feel like that quote really fits you. And so when I was thinking of my positive thought, that was the one thing that popped in my head. I was like, oh, we got to do that one. So let's see. So, Callie, on to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, family, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm born and raised in Southern California. Of course, I'm a huge Dodger fan. I've been a Dodger fan all my life. Thanks to my dad and my uncle, I've been a Dodger fan all my life. So definitely, that's one of the things that's my passion is baseball, of course. And I always say I was born and raised in Southern California. I live in a city called Ontario, California. I'm about 35, 40 minutes away from downtown Los Angeles. I'm like in the inland part of Los Angeles. So kind of give you an idea where I'm at. I started reselling since I was about 6 or 7 years old. My father used to go to the flea markets and swap meets on the weekends, so he used to bring me along to help him out. My job was to just stand there, and he bought me a huge one of these duffel bags full of writing pins, and he goes, "This is yours for you to sell. So whatever you make, you keep." So here I am, 6, 7 years old, selling pins at the swap meet, 10 pins for $1, and it was an experience. At first I thought, okay, this is interesting because people would just grab handfuls and give me $2, $3 and take a bunch of pins. So that's where I started my reselling. Throughout my childhood I did it with other kids. I used to barter back and forth. We would trade toys or different stuff like that. And junior high with baseball cards and selling candy, that was another thing I did as well. Then high school came around and I continued doing it, and it's never stopped. It's been a passion of mine. Like I said, my father's the one that got me into it. So it's something that's been integrated in me since I was a kid. And like I said, it's an awesome thing that a lot of people see it as, you're out there, selling other people's trash. I've been told to my face millions of times, not just by friends and also family.
Uh-huh.
Same people come back a few years later, show me how to do what you're doing.
Right? Yes.
And it's like, wow, you'd be surprised.
Well, and they always say another man's trash or a man's trash is another man's treasure or
Another
something
man's
like
treasures, yeah.
that.
Yep.
So you now have your family support. So I guess back then you were having to build that support and everything.
Yeah. Well, my dad, he's always been supportive of it because, like I said, I learned this from him. He used to be a garbage man when we were kids, and he would sell on the flea markets on the weekend just to kind of help the family get by because it's myself and 4 younger brothers. It was all boys. So my mom used to say, "You boys eat too much, boys eat a lot." So that's how we got introduced to the reselling because of him. And like I said, it's a thing that I'm glad he taught me how to do at a young age, that I do. And of course my other brothers as well, some of them do resell, not on they're not on like me on YouTube and stuff, but they do it on the side as well. So
That is awesome. We got Snag on here. I want to make sure I say hello to
hey Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Hey. So we already talked about how you got started in reselling and how long you've been reselling, but when do you think you probably got serious, I guess? Like, have you always done reselling and not worked outside of your home or
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when in my younger years when I was single, yeah, I did it, and I worked, I did part-time work and did reselling part-time. Once, I got married and I had a family, of course, I already had my job, and I just went full-time. And it was about 6 or 7 years ago when I got laid off from that job. At that time, we were paying about $1,000 a month in daycare.
oh my
So
gosh.
when I lost my job and I was doing reselling part time, I had that conversation with my wife, and she said, "You know what? You're doing so good doing part time. Why don't you just go and get into it full time, and it'll save us that $1,000 that we have to pay for childcare with the kids." So she said, "Let's just do it for now, and then down the line, if you need to go or you find something, then we'll go back to it." But when she noticed that I was making more money than what I was at my regular job, I just never looked back, and I just kept going, and I'm still doing it today.
That is awesome. Yeah, I totally forgot that I have the 5-minute thing turned down. Just tried to keep the bots down from coming
Oh
in
yeah,
and so forth. So sorry
definitely.
about that. Susan Arrington, hello.
Hello, Susan. Yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed to Scooter, make sure you guys subscribe to Scooter. They have some great auctions, and she has some great content as well, guys. So
So make sure you also subscribe to Louie. Why did just call you Louie?
it's okay.
Louise.
I'm used to it.
All right. So what all platforms do you sell on? I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but what all do you?
Yeah, I do eBay. I was off eBay for about 2 years because I just had too much negative stuff with the scammers on eBay. So I was off of eBay for about 2 years, 3 years. And I just recently joined back on eBay last year. So I got back on eBay, and I was doing Macari pretty much. That was my main, and it still continues to be my main, you know, um, marketplace where I'm selling. So definitely, I've been pushing Macari. I've been on Macari since it started. So
Oh wow.
I'm like kind of like one of the grandfathers of Macari, you could say.
Uh huh.
So yeah, definitely been selling on Macari, and of course, OfferUp as well, and Facebook Marketplace.
That's awesome. I know I started on Macari. Macari's never done very well until this year.
Yeah.
Poshmark's always been my hot spot, to sell on. So, um, just branching out there and trying different things. We got Hollywood Reseller here. Hello.
Hey
We got
Tina, how
Red
you doing?
Artist. Hey,
Hey,
buddy.
hey Reb, how you doing?
Bitbot did dot spot. Oh my gosh, you want to give me a tongue twister here. All right. So I saw on Instagram, because I was just doing some digging around on you, that
Uh-huh.
you have a reseller podcast, or you have it listed on your Instagram. Are you still doing that, or what
I
is it?
actually, it's funny because I just did the first episode of that podcast. I just dropped it today. So
Oh,
yeah, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I finally got the little ins and outs of it. And yeah, it's out there. The first one, it's gonna be about reselling because I get so many messages on my Instagram, and I feel bad that I can't respond to everyone at the same time, and it's always the same question. Oh, I want to learn how to start reselling. How can I do this, or what box do I need for this particular item, or what size is a hat box? Like simple questions, which I don't mind answering. So I'm gonna do the podcast, so like that I could answer more questions and kind of share my knowledge with everyone that's wants to get into reselling or just wants to learn it and just they're just curious, how does it work? How does it go?
Right, right. Which
Mhm.
is why I wanted to do this as well.
Yeah,
It's just to, branch out there more because I
yeah,
don't know everything, and I like talking to people that have the same love. My husband can
yeah,
only tolerate so much of talking about reselling, so
yeah.
I need to be with my like-minded people. So where can we find that podcast?
It's on Spotify right now. On there, you just
Okay,
look me up, Cali Reseller Luis, and it's also on Anchor FM as well.
all right, we're all going to have to check that out. So, and I think you already talked about so it's going to be more geared towards reselling and things about reselling on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty much about reselling. There's not I feel there's not enough podcasts out there about reselling. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have of course Gary Vee that's always talking about reselling, and he does a lot of motivational, speeches and stuff like that. But I feel like there should be more podcasts around reselling because I think that a lot of people get a bad representation about what us resellers do.
Right,
They think that we're out there taking all this stuff from all these people that can't afford stuff from the thrift stores, which when that's not the case.
right.
So I
And
just
that
want to use a platform to kind of share that information and pretty much say, look, this all these items are available to anybody to go anytime to go purchase, and it's not like we're just going in there and just taking everything and running out with it.
right. And, a lot of people don't realize that most of the stuff will end up in the landfill
In the
anyway. So
landfill,
kind
yeah,
of helping with the environment as well. So,
yeah,
that's how I
exactly.
try to look at it.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, that's true.
So, where is your favorite or type? You don't have to give us your sources, but what are your type of places that you like to source from?
I source pretty much anywhere I could get inventory from. Like I said, I've purchased wholesale pallets. I've done thrift stores. I go to flea markets. I do garage sales, yard sales, private picks. One of the things I'll touch on that a little bit about private picks. I always tell people, don't be afraid to let people know what you do because that opens opportunities with other people that sometimes want to get rid of lots or different stuff, and they'll say, oh, I know a guy that'll probably be interested in buying this stuff, so give him a call. And just by me doing that, I've actually found a lot of stuff that I get in a bundle for a great price, and the person is happy because they're getting it out of their house, and then I'm excited because I'm getting a good deal as well. So it becomes one of those win-win situations for both
Right,
parties. So
right. So, you did check out wholesale, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I sold my first lot, so now we're moving on to the next. So,
Oh, nice.
we got
That's awesome.
we got full-time reseller here. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Any places or types of places you recommend avoid sourcing from? Anything that you can think of?
I think, yeah, I mean, one of the things with sourcing, I know everyone does their videos to their taste, the way what they want to show, and they don't. I mean, there's some resellers that do show you don't always find stuff at the thrift store. Sometimes you just gotta walk away empty-handed. It happens to me all the time.
Hmm.
But you just gotta keep going. And but yeah, I mean, some stores have been getting pricey, like Goodwill. The prices have just been inflated like crazy.
Yes.
And I know Salvation Army is following right behind them as well. So
Yeah, I know there was like a pair of Old Navy jeans at one Goodwill, and they wanted 20 something dollars for it. And I was like,
yeah,
what? I don't think so. I know it's new with tags, but no, no,
yeah,
I'm not
I
paying that much
know.
for that. So, so what items do you get excited or what is your specialty? What is it that you get you excited about
My
selling?
my thing has always been I've always been into video games and stuff like that. That was always my passion and stuff. But when like I said, when I was doing the auctions with the Lone Star Picker with Louis, he got me into the vintage shirts and all that stuff. So once I got more familiar with the vintage shirts, that's one of the things I always get excited about when I find the shirt. It's just, sometimes you just find that one awesome shit out in the wild, like they say, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe I found this. So that's been like my little thing. That's been my little hunt to look for those vintage shirts. But video games have always been my passion, and also toys. That's
Yeah,
also
that's one
been
thing I never got into was the video games, but I'd
okay.
always watch your auctions because of the shirts and everything. So
Yep.
I'm always looking for either Aerosmith or Broncos or you never know what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Horizon Picks just got an awesome Marilyn Manson shirt from me this past Tuesday. It
Oh
was
wow,
vintage. That was a nice shirt. Yep.
That's cool. Hey, Lisa, you're not late. You're right on time, girl. You're
Hello, Lisa.
fine. So, what is the biggest profit you made on an item you sold, and what was it?
I think the biggest item profit I've done on an item, I gotta say it was a Christian CD from like the 90s. I have this thing about going to the thrift stores, and if I see brand new sealed CDs and DVDs, I always scan them just to see. So I seen it and I thought nothing of it. It was like a double CD, but it was from like the early 90s.
Uh-huh.
So I scanned it and I saw the comps on it, and I literally dropped it out of my hand almost. But I like, whoa, man, did I see that right? And I started going through the comps. There was only 4 that sold, and there was 2 available, and the last one that sold for $680.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is crazy.
yeah. So I listed it and it sold within 2 days. So
Wow. Yeah, I mean, back in the 90s, I think was probably the most popular time for Christian music as
yeah,
well. So I can
hmm
only imagine what artists were on that CD. So,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it is a CD. Man, we're so past, all that. It's like, what are those things called again?
Yeah, exactly.
Zygon is saying that he scored a Biggie shirt from you at a great deal the other night.
Definitely. Yeah, and
That's
that's one thing too that I like to do. I like to bring stuff, and I love when people could get some good deals because, like I said, if I'm providing stuff for people to resell and make money, and they're making profit, then that's awesome because that just gets me more motivated to keep digging out there and getting this stuff. And I like bringing this stuff and helping other resellers stock up on their inventory for them to the resell as well.
Yeah, I know. I got that. Those different newspapers that the only
Yeah,
main one that I was really interested in was the John Wayne for my sister-in-law. So,
yeah,
and she
that
makes
was
them, by
nice.
the way.
Those were nice. I know those were
Um,
nice.
so as a reseller, we all make bad buys at some point. What has been a buy that you regretted, or
Buys
has
that
it?
when I started like getting more like once I got older and I started really getting into like the thrifting and stuff, I used to pretty much just because it was at a good price, I would get different stuff. Like I bought a bunch of mugs and glass and stuff like that. Just because it was 89 cents, 90 cents. I'm like, oh, cool, that's a good deal. I just grabbed them without really doing the research. And then after it came down to listing, I was looking at them and they were only selling for like 2.99. So I'm like, oh man, there goes that. So at that time I didn't really know much about glassware or stuff like that. So that's where I kind of did regret some of that. But now I've been educating myself more on it. So I mean, there's a lot of great pieces though, a lot of high end glass that you could find.
Right. I know Tiffany and I were always talking about how when we first started reselling, we went to the Goodwill bins
Mhm.
and just loaded up our
Yep.
carts with everything and anything.
Yep.
And then later on, we're looking at the stuff and either it hasn't moved or it's ones that we're just like, oh, I'm just not excited to sell that.
Yep.
It takes me
Exactly.
longer to list it because I'm not excited about it. So,
Yep.
I know you do auctions. How often do you do auctions? And tell us a little bit
I
about
do
your
auctions every week. Every Tuesday night is when I do my auctions. I do them once a week. So
Okay. And what kind of items do you like to bring to your auctions or your guests?
I like to mix it up every week. I'll bring different items. And one thing that I learned from doing the auctions, I mean, yeah, some people are known for bringing certain stuff. Like me, for a while, I was known as the Slap King, what they were calling me, because I was bringing nothing but graded cards. So that was really like a big thing when I didn't sell them, people were asking for them. So I'm like, okay, so I will bring them again. So what I started doing, I'm mixing up the inventory every week, bringing different stuff. Or I'll bring vintage shirts, or I bring vintage toys, or I'll bring Hot Wheels. I haven't brought Hot Wheels in a while, or Matchbox, so maybe I'll bring some Matchbox tomorrow.
Right.
But I always try to switch it up just to kind of keep everything people like guessing what is he going to bring next, because I always tell people you never know what I'm going to bring.
Right. Anything odd that you ever brought to the auction? Like,
Not, no, I think I haven't brought anything odd yet, but I know it's gonna happen. It just hasn't happened yet.
right.
So I'm sure it's gonna happen eventually.
What do you like to do outside of reselling? Anything?
But like I said, outside of reselling, of course, with my kids, before this whole pandemic, my daughter was playing t-ball and playing baseball, so I was going to her practices and doing, to the games. And as for myself to enjoy, of course, I like going to baseball games and rooting for the Dodgers, going to Dodger Stadium, or like right now we're gonna really start March. I would have been in Arizona right now for spring training. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
Um. So with the pandemic and everything, since that's been going on, have you found your sales to have decreased any, or have you found it to increase more because people are shopping more online, or what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, when the whole pandemic started, the sales did increase. I mean, I always I'll get into the whole documenting your profits and all that in a bit. But yeah, I noticed a big increase. It was like about 130% increase from regularly from what I usually do. And definitely when the pandemic hit, everybody was just shopping from home because no
Mhm.
one could go out. So the auctions, of course, people were selling stuff left and right, just like, doing retail arbitrage. I did a lot of retail arbitrage myself, and just kept going. I mean, it was hard, but you just have to adapt to the situation to find different ways to source.
Um. And then your documents, and what were you going to bring up about that?
Yeah. Well, one thing myself, I know everyone runs, their auctions differently. I run mine as a business because the way I see it, anything you do that you're doing, and I consider it, as a business. So I document everything that I spend on inventory, what I buy it for, what I sell it for, and I keep records of it. Especially, it makes it more easier for me during tax time. So when I go to my tax guy, I'm like, okay, I have my spreadsheets. Let me just print them out for you, and here you go. Work your magic, do your thing, and yeah, it also helps me keep an eye on how much I'm spending and how much is selling, and it kind of gives me an idea. Okay, what's selling and what's not selling. Let's switch it up a little bit, or what things do I have to put on sale, or what do I have to promote a little bit more, just to kind of keep it balanced. But I think it's important to always keep everything documented, and run everything as a business. That's just my motto. I mean, everyone runs their business differently.
Well, no, I totally agree with that because I document pretty much everything just like you do. I've gotten a
Yeah,
little lazy beginning of this year. I don't know what's going on with me, but I got to get back into it. But yeah, if you treat it like a business, it'll run like a business. Whereas you treat it
exactly,
like a hobby, it's going to be, treated as a hobby. So
exactly.
Zygon said that the sports cards and Pokemon went crazy during the pandemic.
Yeah, they sure did.
I know my husband's got several baseball, football cards. I don't know if he's got any basketball, but he's
Yep.
looking to sell all of his because he
Yeah.
used to work at a sports card
Oh,
store
okay.
way back when.
Uh-huh.
And so he always got all the new cards that came in and so forth. So he's got like sets that,
Oh,
we're looking
wow.
at possibly getting rid of. So do you find it hard to sell those sports cards though?
For me, luckily, sports cars always sell. I'm a big sports car collector. I've been collecting for, like I said, since I was a kid. So I have thousands and thousands of cards in in one of those big tubs. So I have quite a few. I have four of them full of just graded cards and just personal cards that I have. And but yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I never have an issue selling cards, whether it's baseball, basketball, anything. If it's the right card that people are looking for, it would sell.
Yeah, I might have to pick your brain on that because I need to figure out what's the easiest way to go about doing this. He's
No,
just got
definitely.
boxes of them, and it's like, okay, he's never going to look at them again. It's
Yeah,
not something that he's into anymore. So,
yeah.
we got Pick with Joy here. Hey, Pick with Joy.
Hey, Joy.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
So, I think Ashley has got our first question here. Is it worth paying for promotions of items on social media?
I've never had to pay for promotions on social media ever. I just pretty much just promote, market what you have, and just try to give as much information on the item. And of course, there's always going to be that what is this, or maybe if you miss something, obviously someone's going to ask you, oh, what's on the backside of, say for example, a shirt. You put the measurements, you put the front of it, but you forgot to put a picture of the back. So they might say, oh, can I see the back? Oh, I forgot. Let's do that. But as I see, the more detail you give on the item, it actually helps the customer that's looking at it make that decision quicker, because they say, okay, all the info's here. I like it. I'm going to reach out and I just want to buy it.
Yeah, and it seems like it's that way across like Poshmark and Macari
Yeah.
and probably and eBay as well. The more description you give. Um, but I know like on Instagram when I'm doing my
Yeah.
selling my items over there, there's only so much you can give, but the
Yeah.
link does lead them to a
Yeah.
more broader description of the item. So
Mhm.
I think the only thing I've ever done promoting wise is when I first started on Galaxy. I was
Okay.
promoting that over on Instagram, and that seemed to help some. But
Yeah.
it's just gonna, do you want to gamble with $20 or more or less, to promote to see if it works or not? I mean, that's just a gamble that you have to take when you want to promote something.
Yeah.
When you're talking about that kind of promoting, I think so.
Okay.
Yep, and more info the better, and measurements help. Yep.
Yep. Definitely.
So I've never done OfferUp. Can you tell me a little bit more about?
Yeah.
Is
I
that
mean,
kind of like Facebook Marketplace or what?
yeah, it's similar. Like one thing with OfferUp, all the bulkier stuff I sell locally, and I always sell a lot of it. And I always say, I don't know if you see, I hear me say, but I always say I always get stuff that are free 99. So every time I get them, like I said, neighbors will be like, "Hey, I have a couch or I have a table. You want it? Sure, I'll take it. Clean it up, list it, sell it, get it out."
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's the bulkier stuff. But a lot of people don't know that on OfferUp you can also actually list stuff where you could ship the stuff out and they provide the shipping label for you as well. So
Really, I didn't know that.
yeah, so you could, instead of just selling locally, you could actually sell to everyone in the United States. So
Well, I'm writing that down right now.
yeah,
I've got another selling platform to sell on, but
yeah,
I'm always looking for other ideas and so forth.
yeah. The way I see it, the more platforms that you can get your inventory out to, it's better because you're getting more eyes to it. And
Right.
some of the people on OfferUp might not be on Mercari, they might not be on eBay. So sometimes it does help to put on OfferUp as well. Like I'll cross promote between eBay, Mercari, and OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace as well, just to kind of get more eyes and more views on the items.
Well, speaking of cross posting, do you use anything like List Perfectly or anything like that?
No, I don't. I do everything manually. Everybody says, "Man, how do you do it? You have so much going on and you still have time." Uh, like I said, my day is scheduled. I'm up at 5 a.m. I'll pack whatever sells overnight. Once 6:30, 6:45 comes around, time to get the kids up, get them ready for school, feed them breakfast, take them to school, come back home, continue working. I'll take pictures, I'll list, and I'll pretty much my whole day's planned out what I'm gonna take care of, and like that, it helps me do and take care of everything that I need to take care of without having to be like, let me start here. Oh, I got to stop doing this because I got to do this, and kind of put everything so I know what to do at certain times. And it does really help to be organized, at least in my situation. It helps a
Yeah,
lot.
and I'm like you. I've got to have everything laid out, kind of almost like a task list, so I know what I need to do
Exactly.
next and so forth. But I just start List Perfectly just because I work full time, so I don't have all those hours in the day to do all that. But I wish I did, because I'm like, well, if I just took the plunge and just quit my job, which I don't know if that'll ever happen, but if I did, I would have all this other time to do other things that need to be done. So Hollywood asks, what are your thoughts on selling on Macari?
I've never had any bad issues on Macari. Like I said, I've been on Macari since it started in 2016. So I've never had any issues with them. And I know a lot of people, some people have had a bad experience with Macari. I haven't, knock on wood, I don't, but definitely I've always had a good experience on it. I know what one of my main things that video games sell more for me on Macari than they do on eBay sometimes. So I try to list all my video games on Macari because they do sell for a little bit more profit than eBay. That's just for me. But yeah, I have no, like I said, nothing bad about Macari. And yeah, like Anthony was saying too, Macari is a good platform to also sell toys. Toys are always selling on Macari for me too.
Yeah, like I had started out Macari probably about the same time I started on Poshmark, and it just wasn't popping like Poshmark
Yeah,
was for me. And then just this year, I
yeah.
unloaded my whole store on Macari and reloaded the stuff I have and everything, and it's been selling like at least a good sale a day or every other day or something. So I've been a little bit happier with Macari right now. So let's see. Tiffany said that she promoted 2 Insta posts for her first Galaxy sale. It brought a ton of traffic to her posts with people who made naughty sexual comments. Never again.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't think I had that problem, but it definitely brought people to my Galaxy channel whenever I started selling on that. Have you thought about selling on Whatnot or anything?
I actually just applied for Whatnot. I'm gonna do the Whatnot application video maybe tomorrow or Wednesday on my
Uh-huh.
Instagram. So hopefully I'll be on there soon. And like I said, I have a lot of stuff for there to sell. So
Yeah, you seem to be more, you would be more geared towards that than like I would, because I don't sell like a bunch of same item type thing like the
Yeah.
sports cards or games or stuff like that. So, uh, Tiffany, I wonder if have you tried selling on Macari your toys? I know Tiffany has a lot of toys that
Yeah,
she's always
Tiffany always
selling.
has great
So
toys.
I didn't know if she had tried that yet or not. All right. Any other questions that y'all have? We'll keep the conversation flowing, but if y'all have any questions, now's the time to come in with those Q&As.
Yeah, guys, feel free to ask any questions. I'll answer you any question to the best of my knowledge, from my experience, of course.
Do you want to share what your biggest thing that you've been doing here lately?
I know there's a couple of people that know my other side hustle that I do. I also do gumball candy machines.
Really?
So it's only a few people do know about it already because it kind of slipped out, but it's okay. I don't mind sharing it. But yeah, I have this business. I actually started it for my kids. It's just a bunch of gumball machines that we have placed at a couple of pizza places, at a Pet Boys, and different located at a barbershop too. And it's just gumballs, and it's been a great like I said, we were doing this before the pandemic hit, so it was a great way for me to show my kids that hard work does pay off. So was taking them with me to clean on the machines, to refill them, take all the quarters out. So it was exciting for them as well to do it. And that's one of the things that I've been doing with the kids, and all the profits that I get from those gumballs, it's for them. It's not for me. It's for them. So
That's so cool. I
yeah,
didn't even know that.
I actually have a separate YouTube channel for that I've been documenting for that
Do
space
you?
for
Oh
free.
my gosh. I'm learning so
Yeah,
much
I'll put the link on the chat right now. But yeah, I mean, some people do know about that I do that. So
Okay, that's so interesting. Um, Hollywood says, have you thought about selling on Amazon?
uh, I I was planning on joining on Amazon because, like I said, sometimes I do get wholesale pallets, and I have a wholesaler here that's close by to me. It's only 5 minutes away from my house. That he specializes in nothing but toys, name brand toys that you find like at Walmart and Target. And I was getting pallets of inventory from him to for my reselling business. And also, I know some of you guys know that I'm very big on the Toys for Tots and the Ronald McDonald's House as well. We always donate every year to those organizations and stuff. We got involved with that because one of my wife's nephews passed away from cancer a couple of years ago, and so we were very fortunate for everything that they did for the family throughout that time. So that's one thing that's very close to her heart, and something that we've always said that we were going to give back to them for all the help that they did for the family and stuff. So that's why it's very important for myself and for our family that we always give to the kids, and just to bring some cheer to the kids, especially during Christmas time. So
Right. Yes. I know we used to have a school that we adopted the kindergarten class because
yeah,
uh, they didn't have much at all. And so we would donate things. We'd do a Santa list and they would write a letter to Santa, tell us what they wanted in their letter. And then we would go out and we would buy those items,
yeah,
exactly what they requested, and,
yeah,
bring it home then. So that's always fun to give back, and such a great feeling knowing that you're helping others that are, that need that help during that time. So,
no, definitely.
let's see. What What's the best platform for selling vintage clothes?
I think eBay will be a best. I would say eBay because you have more eyes on your items. But
Mhm.
if you, depending on what kind of vintage clothes you're talking about, if you're talking about shirts, you could also try the Instagram, because I know there's a lot of guys on Instagram that do the live auctions, nothing but vintage shirts, and definitely the prices go insane in those auctions. I've been in some of them myself, and just like I said, that's just my bet. Either to do it is on eBay, just because of the bigger traffic that comes through eBay. So that's just my opinion.
Uh, yeah, and I know there's some people that sell, vintage clothing over on Poshmark and, other
Or on
places.
Depop too. It's another platform as well.
Right. Yeah, I always forget about Depop and some of the others that I don't know if they really kind of died to the way, to the side, not as popular as what Poshmark and Macari is growing, and of course, eBay as
Yeah.
well. So I always forget about them because I never sold on there. So
Yeah.
let's see. Full time said, Renee, love this resale talk. First alive I've seen like this. Good. That's what I wanted this to be, was to be able to just come and casually talk about reselling and different
Yeah,
things. So,
definitely glad you're
um,
enjoying it.
so just bring in more questions if you have any. We're probably going to cut it here in just a little bit, but I don't want to, leave anybody out that might have a question that they've been pondering. So if you have one, go ahead and ask it. Let's see, what else can I ask you? You got any other things going on that we don't know about, or?
No, like I said, I'm just gonna continue with the auctions. Like I said, every Tuesday night, and like I said, I have a bunch of stuff that I'm, currently doing. Like I was mentioning, I was fortunate enough to be able to clean out a thrift store. Me and my buddy, you'll dig this. It's another local reseller, a friend of mine since childhood. So he's also a reseller. So we were fortunate enough to be able to empty out this thrift store with all this inventory that we're still going through to this day. So definitely that was a blessing for us. And like I said, it was one of the biggest scores I've ever had in my reselling ever. So I mean, to empty out a whole store, that's just a lot of stuff.
Was it like a whole bunch of different items, or was it?
Yeah, it's a bunch of clothes, board games, books, bookshelves, countertops, like a bunch of there's just anything a thrift store has, VHS, CDs. I mean, we just went over 7,000 CDs, so a lot of media, a lot of vinyl, a lot of cassettes, audio cassettes, VHS cassettes. I mean, DVDs. I mean, everything that a thrift store has: belts, ties, scarves, blouses, women's clothes, dresses. I mean, it's just a little bit. It just goes on and on.
That is nuts. Where do you store all that kind of stuff? Do you put it?
Well, fortunate for us that he has a big backyard and he has a big patio and all that, so we were able to stage everything there. So as we were bringing in boxes, we set them on one side, and then we were staging, putting tables and going through the stuff, and then staging the stuff that we're going to sell at the, because we're thinking of selling a lot of the stuff at the flea market. So we're going to sell that stuff at the flea market, and some stuff we're going to list online, and then other stuff we're going to donate, like books and stuff like that. For some of the schools that don't have books, we're going to donate the books. So
So do you have a booth that flea market booth that you sell out
No,
of?
I don't have a flea market. I do pop-ups twice a month where I,
Okay.
I I set up. So I do that. That's another way for me to move inventory too. I sell a lot of vintage shirts and vintage toys. That's one of my things that's been selling a lot for me on the pop-ups that I'm doing. So yeah, I definitely do those once or twice a month.
So is that pop ups on YouTube, or is that pop ups like at the
No,
flea
no,
market?
we do them at a local brewery that lets us set up there. It's myself and a bunch of other resellers that sell vintage clothes, and there's another girl that sells vintage dresses. So it's a little bit of everything, and yeah, definitely we always have a good time, and you get to conversate and network with all other local resellers. So it's an awesome, like, it's a good time.
That's cool. I know you were talking about how some of the prices can be driven up on some of um, the local, or not local, but like the something. Now I'm going drawing a blank on what you said, but the prices being driven up. But I know, like, on whatnot, there's a guy that lives here locally with me.
Hmm.
His name is Retro Rick. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of him, but he is
Yeah, yeah.
very well
He.
known.
It's funny you mentioned Retro Rick. He was just out here in my city yesterday.
Was he?
Yeah, because they had a video game convention here in my city
Yeah.
this past weekend. He was out here. Phoenix Resell is another guy that does video games. He was out here too. So I didn't get to meet up with him, unfortunately, because I was busy, and I did reach out to him to see if we can meet up. But next time we're definitely going to meet up. So
Yeah, he his games on whatnot, they go stupid amounts. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if they're really worth that much, but I'm just blown away at how much he sells. And of course, I kind of know how much he makes on the sideline, just because a buddy of his that helps him out works with my husband. So they're always talking about all that stuff. So
yeah.
uh, very interesting, just, different things that you see selling. But then I'm like, well, I want to go out and buy video games, but I don't think I could ever sell them for that much.
I mean, there's always going to be a buyer for video games. Some people ask me, like, let me show you a perfect example.
Okay.
I got these video games. They're not even U.S. games. They're either from China or from Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so
These
there'll
are
be a buyer for those.
yeah, these are PlayStation 2 games.
Uh-huh.
Look at the writing in the back.
That is nuts.
Yeah, like I said, I came across them and I got them. I thought, okay, they're different. I bet you there's going to be that collector that's going to want these, and they're complete.
Wow.
So, like I said, they might not sell right away, but obviously they will sell to the right buyer.
Right. Hey,
Towards very
Patsy.
Hi Patsy, like towards something like this will sell instantly, the Simpsons game. So there's something that's only like, okay, I need that.
Right. There's like some crazy game that Retro Rick had in one of his videos that he said how much it went for, and it looked like almost like a Candyland looking video game. I can't remember what it was, but he said how much it went for, and I'm like, holy smokes! Like that is just nuts to me.
Yeah.
Full time says we scan each of those CDs, VHS, DVD first.
Oh yeah, definitely. We did scan those VHSs. We listed a couple of VHSs on eBay. They're selling for about $150. So
Wow,
brand new sealed. Yeah.
that just blows my mind.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. So, any other questions y'all have that are burning before we get off of here? Want to make sure everybody has a chance to ask any questions that you have or any comments. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a question. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna post up my link for my gumball machine.
yeah, go
I
ahead
think
and do that.
it'll be
I
good.
had no clue. I was really talking about the thrift store thing that you were doing.
Yeah.
So, but
There
that's
you go.
cool, the whole gumball thing. But teaching your kids early about reselling
Yeah. And
and
and it's funny because my son, he's the youngest, and he's the one that sometimes when I'm packing, when he's here, he'll help me. He'll be like, "Hey, Dad, can I help?" Sure. I'm all just when I tell you to hand me that thing, just hand it to me, and I'll pack it and I'll tape it up. Then I'll give you the box back and just stack them for me. Okay. So he'll stand here and he'll help me out for a little while.
yeah, it's neat when you can have family involved to help you and everything. And
Yeah, definitely.
I've had some family members, mainly my daughters. I'm like, I don't know if I can hire you full time because you complain way too much, And of course, they're in their 20s, but they've
Yeah.
never got into this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
and then Hollywood is asking. I know we kind of went over this, but what kind of items do you sell on your auctions again?
Oh, I saw everything from shirts to video games to houseware. Pretty much anything that I have, I'll bring it to auction. Hot Wheels, vintage Hot Wheels, clothes, shoes. I saw a lot of shoes on my auctions too. People tend to like shoes a lot, so I'll bring a variety of shoes from Jordans to Nikes to. Sometimes I find like vintage shoes that I'll bring, and people are like, "Oh, I need those," So my auction, you never know what I'm gonna bring. I'll bring vintage posters, vintage concert posters, and a little bit of everything.
So you mainly sell sneakers then on your auction, or do you
I
sell
actually sell
high
everything: sports, cards, video games. I mean, every auction is different. I mix it up all the time. I'll sell Tupperware on my auctions too, and people buy it. So.
Yeah.
Especially vintage Tupperware, people love it. Or what is
Oh
that
my
thing?
gosh.
Princess House stuff. The crystal stuff sells a lot on my auctions too.
Yeah, yeah. Or, there's these flea markets I go to, and they'll have like every daggum Pyrex dish that you can think
Yep.
of, all the different colors from way back in the 50s and
Yep.
60s and stuff. And like me, I just need one or two dishes, and that's about it. I don't need
Yep.
like all of it. So I don't like cooking as it is. So, all right, guys, if there's not any other questions, oh, here we go. Now they're coming in. Do you charge for shipping?
No, I do free shipping on my auctions all the time. I've never charged for shipping, and I never will. People always tell me, "Well, how can you get by not charging shipping with shipping being so expensive?" Well, the way I see it is, if I could give the buyer a good deal and not have to worry about shipping, then I did my job. In auctions, yeah, you have your good auctions and you have your bad auctions. That's just the way it is.
Right.
Not everyone can hit a home run all the time. So yeah, but we roll with it, and we try to bring you guys the best quality stuff for you guys to resell or for personal, whichever you guys do. But yeah, reselling, like I said, it's a lot of hard work with doing the auctions on YouTube. A lot of people think it's really easy. It's not, because I know Scooter's been doing this for a while with Tiffany, so she knows the hard work that goes on behind the scenes,
Yes.
controlling the StreamYard, making sure there's no trolls coming in, making sure you can see everything good on the screen. Make sure you're writing down what you're selling so you don't forget for how much it's sold. And that's just the easy part. The hard part after is okay when we get off live. Okay, we're done with the live part. Cool. Let me go get something to drink and let me start packing.
Yeah.
Packing is the next step, and then shipping labels and all that, and taking it to the post office.
Well, and then plus, just the sourcing of it. You're
Yeah, this
always
is sourcing.
trying
Yeah,
to find new stuff to bring. Something
exactly.
different, something that people don't see all the time, and stuff like that.
Yep.
I know Tiffany's always making the comment. Not everybody's meant to do this because just like we wouldn't go out and build a house because we
Yeah.
don't have a contractor's license or builder's license,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call that, and
Yeah.
we probably would suck at it anyway. So it's like. Yeah, it's the same thing no matter what it is that you do, not necessarily just this. So,
Yep. Definitely.
Patsy said that she has a ton of baseball cards, football, but still trying to learn how to sell them. She finds it very hard. I'm with you on that, Patsy. I do too.
Yeah, baseball cards. Once you start getting familiar with them, it does get easier. So definitely, like I said, just keep researching and keep doing them, and you'll start getting familiar with the more important names like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or like the big name ones. And then slowly by slowly, it'll become more natural, more normal. It'll come to you. So
Yeah, I know Robert's got some that he's like, man, this is the guy. The Ricky card is, such and such guy. And I'm like,
mhm.
okay, who's that? I've never heard of him. You don't know who so and so is? No, I never heard of him.
Yep,
He was only the best whatever, that might be. So
yep, definitely.
his biggest person that he loves is Steve Atwater. And for his 50th birthday this past year, I got him
Yeah,
a personal cameo from Steve Atwater.
that is awesome. We must
50th
have loved
birthday.
that.
And his whole office is nothing but Broncos stuff. So I don't know if you have a man cave that has all your Dodger stuff or not, but
Yeah, I have a lot of Dodger stuff. I mean, the thing that I got recently is this Coca-Cola little bottle that has the World Series Dodgers on it. My brother-in-law actually got this for me.
that is cool.
Yeah, I
Or you
guess
don't plan on drinking it.
no. It's a little miniature one, but I have it here on my desk, so that was something cool that he got me because he knows I'm a hardcore Dodger fan. So
That's cool, yeah. My husband's right now room in his area, his wall space and everything. So my question up there.
oh, did we miss it?
Now you talk about the shipping. Oh, pick with joy. I'm like, okay. I mostly sell on eBay. I'd like to know if you have a listing schedule. Sorry, pick with joy. I'm glad you
Sorry,
don't call me out. That's fine.
we missed that. Sorry,
So, do
but
you have a listing schedule? Is what?
I list every day. My model's always been list every day, whether it's 10 items, 25 items, 50 items, whatever you can list a day. That's one less thing you need to list. So
Right.
I always make it a habit to always list every day, whether, like I said, it's 10, 20, or 25 or 30 if possible. But every day I'll list. I'll take pictures in the morning and I'll start listing. So if I do have time throughout the day, if I'm somewhere with the kids, or if they have a dentist appointment, they're getting worked on their teeth, and I'm doing this, I'm listing. So definitely got to multitask when it comes to listing. But yeah, I mean, I feel that the more consistent you stay with the listing, the more sales you'll get.
Yeah, and it kind of helps with the whole algorithm thing and so forth. So
Yep.
I always try to at least. I know, like Poshmark had this printout thing that's 30 minutes a day, and it has like list 3 items and all these different things to do, and it really does work. So once you kind of learn, to at least list something every day,
Yep.
that will help you in your sales and everything. So Patsy says she lists on eBay every weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, now that I kind of got into list perfectly, is like make my life a lot easier and more adventurous to list on other platforms I haven't sold on. So I sold on eBay many years ago, and now it seems so cumbersome and such a beast, to fill out everything that's on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting used to it, so
Little by little.
All right. Well, thank you, Callie, for joining me tonight. It meant a lot to me for you to come on here with me and everything. And
No, you're welcome. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah. So I'm sure I'll be back this week, or we'll do another Buy It Now video, guys. As much as you know, most of y'all know, my dad is in the hospital due to catching himself on fire about a week ago. And that is a touch and go basis, but I'm sure I'll be around. So make sure you are subscribed and you got the notifications set so you can always know when I'm live. Make sure you subscribe to Cali as well. Make sure that you get his notifications. Again, he's on every Tuesday night, but he is doing other things as well, so you don't want to miss that. Don't forget, guys, next Monday, I'll be back on to talk about all things Poshmark. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that episode, and thank you for your patience as I've juggled the calendar around to fit wholesale in and all that stuff. So if you missed it, I did drop a brooch video last night, so if you're interested in brooches, make sure you go over there and check it out. Kelly, I know you got tomorrow night, you got an auction. Anything else coming up this week besides that?
No, I just have my auction on tomorrow night that I'm having, and other than that, like I said, I'm constantly on Instagram, and I'll probably release another video this week. So definitely just if you guys don't want to miss anything that I got going on, feel free to subscribe to me on my YouTube or on Instagram and say hello. You know, I always respond back to everyone. So definitely stop by. And if you have any questions about anything that we just talked about, feel free to reach out to me.
All right, guys. Thank you, Patsy. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks, you,
everyone.
Callie. And I hope the rest of you all have an awesome rest of your week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, let's do this thing.